I have a recommendation that we join with the Canadian Labour Congress in doing what we have to do to enhance benefits for all our pensioners in Canada, and at the same time we recommit ourselves to continuing to bargain our pension plans and making sure our pension plans that we have bargained at the bargaining table aren't up for sale by these overzealous employers that believe those days are behind us. Our universal pension program works. It shows you that if we can enhance our universal pension program for all Canadians, we can bring up our standards but bring other Canadians with us. So brothers and sisters, the only security Canadians are going to have moving forward is us to double our Canada pension plans. Get people out of impoverished income when they retire. Last week the court rules that Nortel's no longer responsible for the employers, for their retirees. They're not part of the collective agreement. The next day that court ruling come in, the Nortel executives load themselves with millions of dollars in bonuses before the damn company goes under. Brothers and sisters, that's unlawful. Unlawful in this country when executives can steal money on the backs of pensioners, on the backs of those disabled, and get away with it. We demonstrated at Queen's Park. We demonstrated in Ottawa. As a result of our combined demonstrations on pension protection, every single day there's an article about pensions in major newspapers. People are talking about it. And you know why they're talking about it? Because we hit the streets, brothers and sisters. Because we protested, we demonstrated, we made calls, we weren't silent. We got to continue to fight for pensions until our last breath, because that's our responsibility as a union. It's a responsibility to our nation. And I ask you to fight for pension protection. We represent airline workers at Air Canada from one end of the country to the other. I talked to the Air Canada CEO last Friday. You're sending work to Jazz, who's making a hell of a lot of money, more money than Air Canada. You would take those companies back, put them into Air Canada, pay all the workers the wages and benefits of Air Canada workers, and build the company moving forward. He said, that's not my vision, Ken. My vision is in future agreements with Jazz is we're going to reduce the hours in the contract for Jazz workers, and we're going to put more pressure on them to be more competitive with the non-union suppliers. It is a tough bargaining environment. It's a tough work environment today because Air Canada threatened to go into bankruptcy again for the second time in the last decade and forced all of the unions to go into bargaining and make some sacrifices to avoid bankruptcy. We can't protect the long-term survival of Air Canada through constant negotiations. We've got to fill our planes. We've got to get support from government in this key issue, a key sector of the economy. Because at the end of the day, without a national carrier, we will be in serious trouble here in Canada.